Hello YouTubers out there, this is Jerry Saravia at the movies. So, I did a video about a couple of days ago on what is going on, which is, of course, as everybody knows, we have a pandemic. And I am classified, as I said before, as one of the first responders, because I'm a grocery store clerk. So, this is a very strange time. I remember on the day that 9/11 happened, I was living in New Jersey, and the streets were quiet. And of course you couldn't hear any planes in the sky. So traffic was almost at a standstill. It was, of course, a strange day. But that was just, that was the first few days or a couple weeks. New York City obviously almost seemed like a ghost town to a certain extent, particularly Times Square, which, as I'm sure some of you know who have visited New York City in the past, is busy, lots of people. But now this is every day, and I live in Maryland, so the Governor Hogan, has instituted a lockdown. So nobody can leave the house at 8 p.m. It's sort of like a curfew, except for necessities. Food, medicine, that's it. The buses, which I often take one, even though it's only about 4 or 5 miles from here where I work, they will only take people who work in hospitals or grocery stores or restaurants, because those are considered essential. So he instituted that yesterday. It's hard to know what to make of all this, and I know I normally would review movies or do one of my videos on movie legends or things of that nature, or fan film trailers, and I will return to that stuff very, very, very soon. But I felt I had to talk about this because, again, I'm sure everybody's just saying, what is going on? What is this? All the late night talk show hosts are doing their shows from inside their homes. Even John Oliver, or James Corden, Stephen Colbert, Conan O'Brien. It's just a very strange time. But what's interesting is that when I see their shows, it's almost like what I always do here. I mean, anytime I've reviewed movies on this channel or my other channel, it's always been indoors. And I couldn't find my HD camera, so I couldn't really do this in HD, but who cares? Anyway, the point is that it's almost as if somehow we have to continue to live, but half of the population in this country is out of work. They live paycheck to paycheck. So I'm very lucky to have a job where we get hazard pay, which means essentially a 10% increase in pay, raise, a 10% raise. I just don't know what to say. I just don't know. I think even, I started thinking in the last few days of movies that have dealt with pandemics or epidemics of some kind. Now, I've never seen Contagion, but I do remember 15 years ago I saw a movie called Outbreak, which came out, I think it was early spring of '95, and which I think is a fairly good picture, but the film is terrifying for the first 15 minutes. Because you see this airborne disease that started with an animal, a monkey, I believe, and it spreads like wildfire. I mean, you see it. It's just scary. That was the most intense scenes of that movie. Was the opening of that picture. You see how the airborne virus travels and sneaks up on people. It's terrifying what it does. It kills people almost instantly. Um, this is not the same type of thing, but it's killing people. And the hospitals are overrun. I mean, you know, the news talks about this every single day. And I never thought I'd be in a position where I'm serving people food. Essentially, I cut lunch meat at a deli. That I would be considered an essential worker, that I'm somehow in the front lines of a war with an invisible enemy, which the president discussed, and is not untrue. A war may be a little, that might be too hazardous a word to use at this point, considering this is a hazardous virus that has different effects on different people. Of all ages. Those with compromised immune systems certainly are affected more than others. But even a couple of infants they reported died. So, and some children. And it's just, it's insane because you don't see it. But what you see are the effects of it. I mean, every day, it's a ghost town out there. And out here in Baltimore, it's just, I never expected to see this in my lifetime. You know, it's something you see in movies where you hear about ghost towns that actually do exist, particularly in Jersey. But that's, you know, where everybody just kind of abandoned ship. This is something else. This is just, it's not that we're trying to abandon ship, we just don't have a choice. I want to say things will hopefully get better, but I don't know that. Nobody knows that. They could get worse. They probably will before they get better. Anyway, this is a movie review show, so let me just tell you, if you're interested in films that deal with this, I would say Outbreak is a fairly good film. Probably even better is The Andromeda Strain from 1970, based on a Michael Crichton novel. Now, in terms of, you know, let's not talk about zombie movies, because that could apply, but it's not entirely the thing. But someone brought up recently just dealing with a terrifying situation in a very controlled environment, and that would be the China syndrome, which of course didn't lead to it, but the film came out before the I believe it was a 3 Mile accident, nuclear accident, where there was leakage of nuclear material. And that film ended up becoming prescient when it wasn't intended to be, because it was made and filmed and edited and scored and released to theaters before that disaster actually struck. It was in 1979. So that is a very good film about people affected by a disaster, not knowing what to do. But, you know, you should also be able to watch stuff that has nothing to do with what's going on. So that's all I could tell you. I would recommend, since this is a movie review show, and I am about the movies, I would say watch one of my favorite films of all time. It's a musical with Danny Kaye called The Inspector General from 1949. I don't know if YouTube has it or Amazon Prime, but maybe they do. It's worth renting. It's just a wonderful film about a guy who's mistaken for Napoleon Bonaparte. So you want to talk about something that is a far cry from anything that's happening now, that's the film to see. So letting you all know, of course, those who watch my channel, I am not hunkered down. I'm not living day to day inside my home. I'm actually going to work every day because I don't have a choice. I have to do it. And I'm not sure that what I do is essential in the same sense that the hospitals need their nurses and doctors who are working 12, 16-hour shifts trying to deal with people coming in who are sick and have this virus. I commend them. They are the true heroes. What I do is In a sense, I could be home and not even bother in case I get infected, which I hope doesn't happen at all. Please God, don't let this happen to me. I can't afford it. I have a wife and 2 cats, so I don't want to be in that situation. But so I could stay home and collect unemployment, although I would probably make a heck of a lot less than what I'm getting now by working. So I see the importance of what I'm doing, but I'm not sure it's on the same wavelength as the doctors out there and nurses, especially trying to combat this disease. You want to talk about combat, that's what they're doing. We are just in danger of getting it. I say the 2 worst places to be in this right now, anywhere in the world, is a hospital or a grocery store. But you can be perfectly safe at home, so if you can afford to stay home, please do, until this more or less flattens, as I say, flatten the curve. Well, I promise I'll do something more cheery next time, which is a movie review, and not even talk about any of this, but it's hard to ignore it. But anyway, please like and subscribe. If you don't, that's fine. I've tried in vain for a while to get more viewers, and I don't have, I think I have 303 subscribers, which is significantly less than Christopher Stuckman. By the way, check out his channel, at least he is reviewing movies. I will do that very soon. I've been saying that for a while, but I've also been working on Legends of Hollywood videos I do exclusively for YouTube on people who are underrated and are Hollywood legends to some degree. So the next one I'm doing is Anime Wong, the first Chinese movie star in Hollywood. She was the first. And it's fascinating stuff to look at her career and the information I can gather here and there from other sources. So look for that, but I will try to review some movies. I promise I will. It won't be just in written format, but I will try to do more. And that's all I got to say for now. So stay safe, all of you out there, all my followers. You don't have to like and subscribe, but if you do, that's fine. It just lets me know that people are watching more than 2 or 3 views at a time. This is Saravia the Movies, signing off and saying, stay safe.